morning, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the mailman. The sun is bright, but it is cold on this fine Monday. Tuesday morning. I got a little confused because of the holiday yesterday. I'm all discombobulated. Again, we got a little bit to talk about this morning. Only the Dallas Cowboys, right? Only the Cowboys. I was going to do a video with Mark. I ended up going food shopping, was there way too long. So he did his live. I went to bed afterwards. I was tired. Long day I only did the one video. Apologize for that. I'll be better, people. I got stuck doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. But we got news. I don't know how this is going to work. I got one question for you, but we'll get to the news. Well, there's other news. Before we get to the big Cowboy news, which everybody knows, but I'll give you my take on it. Baker Mayfield has been notified that he's not going to be franchise tagged. Antoine Winfield Jr. will be. Interesting move. I did touch on this yesterday. I said it was 50-50. So, Antoine Winfield, yes. Baker, no. What does that mean for Baker Mayfield? That means he's most likely going to be back. I would imagine. They can't afford not to bring him back. They made the playoffs with him. They need to have him back. So, I expect him back. Mike Evans is a free agent. Very interesting to see what happens there. So, a little bit of news there. We have our first official transaction today, which is Antoine Winfield Jr. has been franchise tagged. Now, they have until, I don't know, I'm guessing, sometime in June 1st, to make a long-term deal, or he has to play under the tag for this year. So, leave in the comments if you know the exact date, but I believe it's June 1st. Sorry, let me lower it. Got a little hot coffee going. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. There it is. All right, so that's out of the way. Rumors are flying left and right. It seems like every time I turn around, there's a rumor regarding the Eagles. Now the Eagles are in on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's coming to Philly. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. Slow down. You got a better chance of getting Saquon Barkley than Derrick Henry. It makes no sense. You got DeAndre Swift already in-house, who's a free agent. Resign him, people. Eagles should resign DeAndre Swift. He's just as good as Saquon Barkley at this point. Is he as explosive? No, he's not. But he's just as he's just as good. But a lot of little interesting stories coming out. As you know, we got the Combine next Monday. I'll be off, so I'll stream the first day of the Combine. I don't know what I don't really know what they do. I don't know if it's the quarterbacks. I'm not real sure, but I'll be bringing it. So, but obviously here we go. Damn. Sun is bright. Thank God, because it's cold out there this morning. Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson is now back in the fold with the Dallas Cowboys in a consultant role. Okay. I like it. I'm not here to crap on Jimmy Johnson. I've been telling everybody for a long time how much they miss the Jimmy Johnson. Sorry, Jerry Jones. He's the reason why we got as good as we did. But he's going to be hired as a consultant to what? Now, supposedly Jerry asked him about the talent and what they need, which is a great thing. To me, that's the most important thing that has come out of this whole thing, is that Jerry Jones reached out and said, you saw our team. This was right after the loss to Green Bay. So, he called the Jimmy, and Jimmy told him what his thoughts were. I could only imagine what he told him. You need more guys that are going to be as fired up in the fourth quarter or the first play of the playoffs than it was the first game of the year. But if you remember correctly, Jimmy Johnson was all about speed. He liked big boys, but all about speed, and more importantly, speed and being in shape. I mean, being able to run all day. He took pride in his guys not crumbling at the end of games. Okay, if you saw Mark's live stream and you saw his video, you know what I'm talking about. I think the term was exhaustion makes cowards of everybody, or something to that effect. But basically, when you're tired, you're no good. You know, when you're tired at the end of a game, there's nothing like having that edge when you're playing against somebody and they are exhausted and you keep coming, right? That's where the game is won. That's why at the end of the games, the back end of the game, Dallas just run down your throat. Dallas would have a 3, 7, 10-point lead. They'd had 4 running plays tops, and they would just run it over and over and over again. And that's because they were in shape. The other team was gassed. They weren't going to stop them. That's where you want to get to. So what does that mean? Now, all right, I have a question for everybody. You know what I've been saying. Why did we bring back Mike McCarthy? Is it just for Dak Prescott? Is he just going to be an offensive coordinator and, you know, stand up in front of the team on a... I mean, how does this work? Again, this is what I'm saying. How does this work? You got Mike Zimmer. You got Jimmy Johnson now, who's in the fold. Now, he's not going to be a regular... He ain't going to be there all the time. He's a consultant to Jerry is what he is. But, okay, how long is that going to last? When Jerry doesn't do what Jimmy wants. Okay, you know what Jimmy would want to do? He would want to trade a star right now that's not getting the job done for a draft pick. You know that's what he would want to do. Start there. And then once you get in the draft, actually move around. If you realize the Cowboys have not moved around in the draft. Remember they used to say wheeling and dealing? That was Jimmy Johnson that got that whole thing started. That was never Jerry Jones. Jimmy Johnson was the mind behind it all. And Jerry tried to pick up the pieces when Jimmy left, and you see what happened. I'm not here to crap on Jerry today. It was a good thing that, you know, what he did. But how's that going to work with Mike McCarthy? I'm already on record as saying Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer are two polar opposites. Now, they're all buddy-buddy on the podium. They are. They're buddy-buddy on the podium. You know, having an interview saying, we respect each other, this and that. But the problem is, Mike McCarthy is not a screamer. He's a talker. He's an instructor. He put his arm around you. And that's what that's going to be. Mike Zimmer will yell at you until you get it right. He will yell at you until you finally do it right, or you got to go. So it'll be very interesting to see how all that works. Only the Dallas Cowboys can bring this dynamic. Why? I guess they had to share it. It was actually leaked by CBS Sports, so it's not like something that Dallas wanted to get out there and say, "Oh, we got Jimmy," because it doesn't look good on Mike McCarthy. You know, which is why I was like, "Why are we bringing him back?" But I guess 3 12-win seasons in a row is unheard of. Now, one of two things is going to happen this year, people. Either we're going to continue down this path. I'm not getting into playoffs. I'm talking about regular season wins. Are we going to win 11, 12 games? That would be great. Or are we going to go the other way? If we go the other way, then it's a very good possibility that Mike McCarthy's gone before the bye week next year, whenever that is. If it's a late year bye week, which Dallas doesn't normally get late season bye week. So, you know, I hope that's not the case, but that's on the table. People act like, like we're not going to go in the tank. It's unheard of to do what we do. 3 years in a row of winning 12 games. That does not happen in the NFL. So something's going to break. Either we're going to get over the hump or we're not going to make the hump. Just like all the teams. I told Eagles fans last year, all the teams that make it to the Super Bowl and lose don't make it back the following year. That's not me saying it. That's not what I think. Those are facts. What did the Eagles do this year? They went to the Super Bowl last year and lost. What did they do this year? Nada. They didn't even win a playoff game. They lost to the Bucs, for crying out loud. So, projecting forward, I think Detroit stays where they're at and improves. I think that the Niners will not get back to the Super Bowl, not because I don't like the Bang Bang 49er gang, which they're okay, but I can't stand the Niners. These are just what happens in the NFL. This is how it works, people. So I'll be anxiously awaiting the first news we get on Jimmy Johnson addressing. Is he going to address the team? I don't believe so. That would be overstepping McCarthy's bounds. It's a consultant, so we're not going to know nothing. It's just going to be, this is what's going to happen, people. If they're not listening to Jimmy Johnson, then Jimmy Johnson's going to come public and say, well, that was just a joke, or that was just, he wanted to pick my brain. Jimmy gonna bail out quick if Jerry starts his shit, because Jerry's in a perfect spot now. Jerry can pick and choose what he wants to take from Jimmy, and if it all goes bad, he can say, wow, it didn't work with Jimmy. It didn't work with what he's saying. Jimmy, you either have to be all in or not in at all. That's how it works with that type of situation. So the dynamic is only the Dallas Cowboys could attempt to pull this off. Have Mike McCarthy, hire Mike Zimmer, who's okay. Look at that, almost an accident. Then again, they had their blinker on, so my bad. But and then all of a sudden Mike said he has a lot of respect. You can have all the respect you want, but it's not your type of coach. That's why you were on board with the whole Dan Quinn thing. So, I don't know. Very weird situation. But as I said earlier, today is the first day of franchise tag. The Dallas Cowboys are not franchising a Tony Pollard. You could bet that. They're not going. What are you pointing? Yeah, what are you pointing at the car? I know how much room I have. No, she's pointing. She said, I know how to drive. Anyway, all right, I'm at my work. I'm getting dropped off at the door. My wife has to drop me off today. She needs the Explorer for something. So, I will talk to everybody later at my 2 o'clock live stream, my lunchtime chat, and we'll pick up where we left off. Maybe we'll discuss some players that were tagged. I don't expect many that are going to be tagged, but 2 o'clock, people, Eastern. I'll see you then. Late.